Hi Libra, this is your monthly horoscope for August 2023, and because it's you guys, let me make sure I look presentable. Okay, so this is your monthly horoscope for the month of August, and specifically for you guys Libra. So if your sun is in Libra, then watch this first. If your ascendant is in Libra, then second, and your moon is in Libra, third. Sun, ascendant, and then moon in that order. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at what the planets are doing this month and how that's going to influence you in August. Now, the first thing that's really significant is that your ruler, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, that's in retrograde from the 22nd of July until the 3rd of September. And it's in Leo at 26 degrees in your 11th house. And I think you're going to be impacted by this in the sense that your relationships, especially your friendships, may become a little bit more volatile and there may be some miscommunication going on. So the key thing, the reason I'm saying that is there's a lot of fire in the chart. We've got the sun in Leo, we've got your midheaven, Black Moon, Lilith, and Venus all in Leo. And then we have Mercury and Mars in Virgo, which is an earth sign. They're next door in your 12th house. And you have a lot of confidence in yourself. So you have good ideas going on, you're likely to be right. But what you don't have is a lot of patience or a willingness to kind of compromise your ideas and what you think to be true for the sake of someone else, especially if it's just for the sake of keeping peace. I think you're going to be more interested in being right, and your temperament is kind of fiery in August, I would say. So if you're usually someone who's quite compromising or quite willing to kind of agree to disagree, I think during this Venus retrograde, that generosity when dealing with other people, I think that's going to be a little bit stifled, and there is room for you to get frustrated or irritated or even to get into arguments with people. So I don't think that's usually something that you struggle with very much. So just be aware of that. If things are a little bit more challenging, especially in your friendships this month, then that's something I would expect to see with this Venus retrograde in particular. On the 1st of August, we have a full moon, and that happens in Aquarius. So the full moon is when the moon reaches its monthly completion point and it lets go of all of its energy, and it's kind of a celebration. So we're all going to be showered in Aquarius energy on the 1st of August. And the moon in your chart is at 4 degrees in Aquarius in your 5th house of what you love. Children, things that make you feel passionate about life, things that are really, really important to you and near and dear to your heart. And it happens near your IC, which is the roots. And it's next to Pluto at 28 degrees rather, 2 and 8 becoming 10, which then reduces to 1 in numerology, and that's in Capricorn. So what that says to me is that you have a very high standard of the people in your life, especially people you call family or really good friends. And it's because you have high expectations of other people. You know, for instance, I love you so much. You know, I was there for you when you were ill. I brought you books and chicken soup, and I came around every day and kind of supported you while you were struggling. Now, at this point in our relationships, in our relationship, singular, what is it that you're bringing to the table? Are you taking care of me? So it's that kind of keeping score, but also, is that person behaving in a way that I would behave? If the roles were reversed, would I be doing this? And I think that you operate on that level a little bit, and that you find the behavior of other people a little bit disappointing in August. And with the Pluto influence, there may be a tendency to cut things off and to say, well, you're not there for me the way I was, so I'm no longer interested in this friendship. With that kind of thing, I would really encourage you not to bring down the axe quite so quickly and to give other people the benefit of the doubt, because it isn't really or necessarily the behavior of other people that's off. It's the expectations you have around other people at the moment, which are really elevated to an almost unreasonable level, I would say. So you've got all that fire energy in your 11th house. Then you've got Mercury, the communication planet. That's in Virgo in your 12th house. And then you've got Mars, the planet of drive and ambition. That's also in Virgo in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So the great news is that on a spiritual level, you're very connected and you feel taken care of and you feel strong and supported. You also feel like you can make sense of what's going on in your life, what's important, what isn't. And you see, that adds to this picture of you, Libra, as being certain. This is the way relationships are supposed to be. This is the way my friendships are supposed to be. This is the way my work is supposed to be. So it's all very well if you have an idea of the way everything ought to be, great. If you're actually building things and making things happen, that is great, having that certainty, priceless actually. But when it comes to then applying that to other people and dictating, you should behave this way because that's what I think is right, that's where potentially you can run into problems. So years ago, I was in a group, we met once a week and we studied the Course in Miracles. And the thing the woman kept saying was, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And that expression I think applies here because in August, that I think is going to come up again and again. Do I want to tell this person what's actually supposed to happen and get into a bit of a confrontation or even a conflict about it and put the relationship at risk? Or do I want to be happy and let this go and leave it to run its own natural course? And I'm getting that if you have a choice between those two, choosing I want to be happy rather than right is the way forward. It's going to cause you a lot less issues and problems moving on. And so if you're trying to figure things out on a spiritual level, if you don't really feel like you're very connected, if you're an agnostic, if you feel like, I don't have any sense of something bigger here, it's a good time to explore that area of your life. Try different things that make you feel connected. If it was swimming in the past, try that. If it's something new like meditation or yoga or chanting or anything that on the tin it says this is a spiritual practice, try that out if you're looking to deepen your connection, because Mercury and Mars in Virgo in your 12th will make that very possible. On the 16th of August, we have a new moon in Leo, and that happens also in your 11th house. So that now spills over into I am right, don't contradict me, so keep watching that in your relationships. But also it's more problematic because it says, I want to build something that's really significant. I want to create something like a business. I want to build something that's going to be a permanent structure in my future. Now remember that Venus, your ruler, is still in retrograde. So I feel that this is a false sense of security and a level of confidence that is over the top. So I feel, Libra, that you guys, I really need to warn you here in August not to be overly confident and not to pour all your hopes and dreams into the new business or to put all your life savings into an investment where someone told you this has absolutely no chance of failing. Anything like that where it seems too good to be true. Be very cautious around that. If you have to launch something in August, make sure you read all the paperwork and read all the fine print. But if you can possibly manage your schedule so that you can launch things in September rather than in August, September is going to be a more reasonable time to do it. On the 23rd, we've got Mercury, the communication planet, going retrograde. So now the whole, am I right, are you right, what are we even arguing about? It becomes almost ludicrous now with Mercury going into retrograde, because now miscommunication is involved and just misunderstanding each other on a practical level, like I didn't see your text or email, or I have no idea what you're saying right now, but I'm going to pluck this meaning from it. It's not the best time for your friendships and for your close personal relationships, simply because there is such room for error. So again, if you're trying to, or if you're thinking of kicking people out of your life, or if you're condemning someone for saying the wrong thing, please hold off on that. We've all said dumb things. We haven't always meant all those things we've said. And it's just this tendency to make a permanent decision based on something irritating and something temporary. The likelihood of that is really there. On the 28th of August, we've got Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and unexpected. That goes into retrograde until the beginning of next year. It's in your 8th house next to Jupiter, the lucky planet, and they're both in Taurus. So it's interesting because for you, Libra, even though you're having such a challenge when it comes to your personal relationships. When it comes to your relationships with institutions, so formal relationships, groups of people, businesses, charities, anything like that, that is much easier and the doors will open for you much more naturally, which could be confusing in itself. Why are these people in business responding to me but my friends aren't? So it's not the most chilled out time of your life, I don't think. And the choice, if you have the choice between business and the formal versus personal, put more energy and time into the formal working side of things. That's where you have greater results and a more positive outcome. Near the end of the month, on the 30th of August, we've got the second full moon in the month. We've got another full moon. This one is in Pisces. And when you have two full moons in a month, it's called a blue moon. It happens very rarely. And the blue moon, the full moon in Pisces, is going to be nearer to the Earth than any other full moon in 2023. So the influence of it is going to be much greater. That happens in Pisces next to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in your 6th house of work, daily routine, your physical health, and the structures of your life, so to speak. So that's going to give you a great idea in terms of who you are, something that you haven't thought about just yet, something that you could take to other people and where you could work with other people in a professional sense. So you see, for you guys, Libra, August is a month where you can be super productive in work and get groups of people together and, bodies working together. But when it comes to your own personal kind of relationships, it's much more challenging. So if you can tweak things a little bit to make the focus on the working side of things, you'll have an easier time of it. So that's what I get for you here in August. I hope you have a great time despite some of the difficulties. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a fabulous August and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.